Welcome to Out of Touchstone, the film review series that still honors your frequent rental punch card. Watch 10 episodes, the 11th is free. After taking a week off to enjoy the Winter Olympics, we're back to look at the second half of Touchstone's 1996 slate. For the July 4th weekend, a good time for a large spectacle, Touchstone decided to go in a slightly different direction. Instead, they released a quiet, small-town drama that feels like a reimagining of Flowers for Algernon, a story about an ordinary man suddenly gifted with extraordinary intelligence.
The phenomenon has begun. It's the must-see movie of the year.
Name as many mammals as you can in 60 seconds. How about alphabetical?
The magical spirit that made Forrest Gump so popular is reborn.
Repeat it one more time.
4 stars.
What's she got anyway?
My heart.
Don't miss Phenomenon.
Why don't you move something with your mind?
John Travolta.
Maybe move his,
Phenomenon, rated PG. Starts Wednesday, July 3rd.
Phenomenon stars John Travolta as George Malley. Travolta had already experienced a Hollywood phenomenon. After dominating the late 70s with Saturday Night Fever and Grease, his star dimmed through much of the 80s. That was until a former video store clerk turned director decided to cast him in a little ensemble crime film called Pulp Fiction. Suddenly, Travolta wasn't a punchline, he was cool again. In Phenomenon, he goes full sincerity. No irony, no wink, just earnest, wide-eyed wonder. Supporting him are Kira Sedgwick as the guarded single mother who slowly lets that guard down, Forrest Whitaker as his loyal best friend, and Robert Duvall as the town's steady moral compass. It's a cast built for warmth, familiarity, and comfort, not spectacle. This is one of the more puzzling greenlights of 1996. July 4th weekend is usually reserved for tentpole blockbusters, alien invasions, action heroes, cities exploding. So why did Touchstone counter-program with something that feels like a heartfelt network drama? The screenplay was written by Gerald DiPaggio, a writer whose last theatrical film was the 1981 Burt Reynolds film Sharky's Machine. Since then, he'd been writing TV movies, and you can feel it in Phenomenon. The structure, the pacing, the emotional beats, they play like prestige TV from the mid-90s. It's not necessarily a criticism, but it does raise a question. Was this conceived as a theatrical feature? The tone is gentle, the stakes are internal, and the town is cozy. Even the supernatural elements are subdued. Maybe the pitch was simple. John Travolta's back, audiences love inspirational dramas, small-town Americana plays well in the summer. Perhaps Phenomenon just became bigger than its original intent. Opening against a film literally named for the holiday weekend was a built-in challenge. During its opening weekend, Phenomenon landed 3rd at the box office, behind Independence Day and The Nutty Professor, and ahead of The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Eraser. In a summer built on destruction and spectacle, Phenomenon quietly carved out its own lane. Over time, the film did find its audience. Word of mouth carried it to just under $100 million domestically. It wasn't a July 4th juggernaut, but it wasn't forgotten either. Critics were divided. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score sits at 47%, while the audiences were slightly more generous at 59%. The film's earnest, sometimes schmaltzy tone likely left viewers wanting more. Roger Ebert praised Travolta's performance and the film's sincerity, writing, "The film is essentially a good-hearted story about the rhythms of small-town life and the meaning of friendship." He gave it 3 stars. So where does Phenomenon land on the Out of Touchstone scale? Going in, I assumed this would be the best-rated film of 1996 so far. I'd seen it before, though I didn't remember much about it. Watching it again, it feels very much like a movie of its time, and not one that fully translates 30 years later. It's heartfelt and sincere, as we've said. Travolta commits completely, and the small-town atmosphere works, but it never quite transcends its made-for-TV energy. The emotional turns are predictable, the arc is familiar, there just isn't enough weight behind the wonder. So for Out of Touchstone, we're going to stay in the state of deja vu and give Phenomenon a channel surf reading. That's going to do it for this episode of Out of Touchstone. Next time, Touchstone tries to turn one of the biggest sports stars of the 90s into a movie star and becomes part of the weirdest pop culture Mandela effect of the 90s. Until then, the tapes were rewound, the video store is closed, we're out of Touchstone.